We're here at Wheeler's Yard for Geekbrunch. It's where all the Singapore tech geeks get together, organised by WeBuild, CopyJS, Xian being the ringleader, probably some other JavaScript meetup, I think. It's Navina somewhere. They've got bikes rusting everywhere. Not so sure how pro this place is, but I think the main draw here is the cafe. It's the cafe, and everyone should be over in this queue. I'll introduce you to a couple of them. I'm here at Geekbrunch on a Saturday morning. That's Xian behind me. What the hell? What do you want? Say something. Anyway, never mind him. Here's a question for you. Let's frame this a bit better. Are you using transpilation?
Why? Why do I use?
But are you using it? Because nowadays browsers are quite up to date. They're like evergreen, right? So do you need to transpile your bundle for old browsers that don't support, await and things like that?
If I don't care about the old browsers, I won't transpile.
Yeah, I still transpile because I need to support the old browser.
But how do you know how many old browsers are there?
Analytics, Google Analytics.
I don't really know.
The problem I had is that I'm starting to use async await, and when I transpile and then I use uglify.js, it's just everything goes out the window. I think it's basically uglify.js, not really a transpilation issue, but
Yeah, it's very slow as well.
So does uglify.js actually have any value?
For minification, that's all.
That it actually isn't there like a Babel plugin to do it?
There is a Babel plugin to do it. Well, there's a native Babel alternative to Uglify.js.
Okay, I'm gonna switch to that. Sorry, my thing's ready. I'm out of here. Bye. All right. Thomas is someone who's been around for a few years now.
7 years.
Or like, I've been here 5, and you've been organising the JS conferences.
Well, one of them per year. That's enough. Yeah.
So what do you? Are you working on remote projects or something? What is that thing you showed me? The thing from California or something?
Oh, Magic Bus. Yes. That is a on-demand bus transportation company. It's a bit like Grab Hitch or Grab Share or something, but with bigger vehicles.
And that keeps you busy here in Singapore?
No, not at all, actually.
You just do it? Okay.
No, like that. But right now it's actually funny. They're coming full circle and maybe coming back to Singapore. They applied for the tender here to do shared bus offerings in Singapore. So Let's see what comes out of that.
Cool. This is Geekbrunch, time to eat.
I was just saying how this event makes me happy every time I come here. It's like food, coffee, and then loads of interesting people to catch up with.
Cool, yeah. I agree. See you. Geekbrunch. This is Bjorn. He's the old-fashioned sort of guy here in the community.
So is that a beard joke or
Yeah, it's a
beard and Unix joke? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Not too bad I wasn't wearing the Unix t-shirt today then.
What is
Today is
this?
Charlie the Unicorn.
It's forgiveness, screaming, and then silence.
If you watch Charlie the Unicorn, you'll understand. It's fantastic.
Is it better than Rick and Morty?
It's a different. It's similar, but it's just a short thing. So it's like 11 episodes all in all on YouTube.
Cool.
So different.
So what are you up to? Are you doing stints and bars, or are you actually sitting in front of the computer?
Mostly spending time with the computer at the moment.
Like which language? And can you say anything?
Yeah, no, I'm mostly working in Python. I work in data services in this satellite company, so we process data from the download from space. So I'm currently trying to predict where all the ships in the world are at any point in time.
Do you also take care of an API for that? Is there something public?
Yeah. So the API side of it, maintaining servers, all of that, and then just making sure you can actually predict where things are.
Do you use, out of interest, Postman to document your APIs and monitor them?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a public Postman feature collection that we tell our customers, here's how you learn about our API. So here's the documentation, here's the Postman, so you actually can try it out easily.
I'm a recent convert to Postman. I was using Swagger before, but I like how Postman just brings everything together.
Oh yeah, I mean there is certain nices with Swagger as well. Like I used it when I was working at a client side, and the fact that you can connect a lot of services together and you can just get explorability from it is kind of nice, because you can kind of, if you use the right frameworks, you kind of get that for free. So we were using Spring Boot at that time, and there were some integrations that were just kind of nice that some people had set up that I have no idea how.
What is Spring Boot? Is some Java thing, or what is that?
Yeah.
When you mentioned Spring, I think Java.
It is Java. It is Java. If you have to do Java, you could at least do Spring Boot. It's not terrible, but then on the other hand, I don't know anything else about Java. I only know Spring Boot, and it's not horrible to work with.
Sorry, I got a bit nervous there. I saw a knife almost drop into my kid's leg. Now, the Python... Charlie, what do you have to say for yourself?
He's calling you. He kept calling you.
Okay, let me one more question. Python 2 or 3?
We are moving everything to Python 3. Currently, I have 2 apps that aren't Python 3, and I just have to spend some more time.
Okay.
But it's also a big part of the way we work with our code is like we have one giant monorepo and build tools and all that, so it is really, really convenient for us if everything could be run in the same version, and there's so many advantages to Python 3.
You gotta make the switch. So
we are making the switch slowly. As we're touching on all the pieces of code, we're doing it. So the main thing that's holding me back right now is just a bug with how we do testing with database. For some reason, Postgres goes boom and complains about binary data. So I have a feeling if I spend a day on that, it's going to be fixed because it's some configuration issue somewhere.
And you haven't joined the Golang JavaScript bandwagon?
I have tried out Go, but for the thing that I'm doing, it doesn't make sense. Because it's a data company. We do data science. We SciPy and all that stuff. It's just...
I'd agree that the data science statistics modules in Python are pretty nice to work with.
And most likely, if we needed the speed, most likely we'd end up on the JVM somewhere. But we're not there yet, because scaling with Lambda and so on, we don't really have any issues with speed right now. Cool. But it will come.
Nice catching up with you, Bjorn.
Likewise.
See you around. Yep. Enjoy. I'm here with Roman, a guy I barely know, but he does... I have nothing to do with him. No, but he just told me he just launched something.
There's a new project, Crypto Jobs List. It's basically a site, for you to find jobs in crypto space. There are a ton of companies these days that developing things on blockchain, and they want to hire.
Worldwide or Southeast Asia?
Worldwide.
Worldwide. Okay. But my question was actually to do with Singapore. The environment. There's been talk of having a blockchain company being a little bit more difficult lately, but maybe you can dismiss that rumor.
Right, not necessarily it's difficult. The main difficulty in Singapore is talent, technical talent.
It's not banking with...
So there have been a lot of controversy around banking, and some banking accounts were closed, but for the a bit larger companies that were doing transactions and were converting Bitcoin and crypto assets into fiat, and those accounts being on hold. But the interesting thing that the Monetary Authority of Singapore is very supportive of all the crypto assets. It's one of the most supportive governments in the world, but it's the banks themselves that are holding the community back and they're not very certain what's going to happen, and that's why they're trying to put extra measures to put things on hold. But it's still it just draws more attention to this space, and it's more exciting.
Yeah, even bad publicity is good publicity, I guess. Yeah, okay.
Yes, excellent. Thank you. Thank you for questions.
Okay, no problem. Carl, Frida, just very quickly, what do you do here in Singapore?
I work at SP Group. I'm on the mobile platform team, mostly doing Android.
Same as him, except I do iOS, the best platform.
Who does the web platform in SP Group?
The web platform?
Some random people.
Yeah.
So, would you say it's these 3 platforms are equally funded, or the apps have priority? Because I think I opened up an SP account earlier this year, and I don't think I was able to do it on the web. I had to do it with the mobile.
You should be able to do it on the web.
Yeah, it should be, but I think the web wasn't made by our team, just the mobile apps, but by our team.
So you don't even know who the web team is?
It's like before our time. Yeah.
Don't you guys all like sit in the same room trying to ensure a consistent user experience?
Yes, but the web part, I guess we are more focused on mobile because like everything's mobile first now.
But the web works on mobile too, dude.
Sure, if
It's not the same user experience.
So it's not the same user experience as the web on mobile. That you guys just basically don't need to talk to each other anymore.
No, native apps, that's the way to go.
Okay, I made some enemies today. This is Tim Oxley. He looks like he just got out of bed.
Accurate. Yes, that is exactly what happened.
Tim is an important member of the JavaScript community, namely because he helps me a lot on Singapore JS.
Yes, definitely true.
He's taught me about promises and how to break them. Well, how to use them. Like the then successful failure.
I think more accurately is I've tried to teach you.
What do you think about async await?
I think it makes it much more convenient to use promises. It doesn't absolve you from the ability, from the necessity to understand them though. It also, I think, potentially makes people more inclined to write blocking code because it makes it easier for you to wait for things. So where maybe you would have an opportunity to like parallelize things, you might sort of, because it's much more convenient due to the async await syntax, much more convenient to write things sequentially, you might end up just doing it that way instead.
Yeah, I dare say I'm a victim of that, or But I often find to myself, like, how else do you return from a promise to a variable in a way there's probably a way to do it.
Well, you just that's the result of the .then. That's what you get in the .then callback.
But then you usually have to set your variable outside, or...
Oh, no. Well,
but you have to live inside the .then.
That's right, yeah.
So you basically live in the chain.
Yes, correct.
And die in the chain. Or something.
Correct.
I find the chain thing quite difficult. I don't know why.
As long as you try to keep it flat, I think that helps to keep it understandable. If you end up with like lots of chaining going on, it can definitely be difficult to understand. Recommend maybe just doing some exercises, practicing, because
Okay. Well, anyway, thanks again for your book. What is it? You want to plug your book?
Oh, you're going to plug my book. You're going to plug it, or I'm?
Yeah, I can't even remember the name of it.
Okay, so I'm a co-author on Node.js in Action, the second edition. I wrote the databases chapter. It's a good book.
Check it out. I hate databases, so I'm actually reluctant to read that chapter, but I will.
So what I tried to do with that chapter was give people kind of like an overview of what's available in terms of different types of databases in Node. So it doesn't just cover like one database; it covers a whole different range. And I also tried to explain some like the underlying concepts that I found confusing, and that I think that a lot of beginners find confusing. So things like what's ACID mean, what's cap theorem, what are the kinds of trade-offs that you make with a distributed database versus a centralized database, etc. So I sort of tried to cover all that stuff.
On this topic, I have some state in my JavaScript Vue.js application. It's all in that data struct. I just simply want an easy module that I can install and add one line, and then that's just going to be stored in the database, keyed by the user's ID, and I don't have to, and then it's also going to be restored magically. I just find it very irritating that so much stuff has to go involved with then Redux has to get involved if you want to share the state across pages, But okay, just going back to my initial point, the save and restore stuff, you've dealt with it, right?
Yeah, I've dealt with it. It's honestly not an easy question, and there's an infinite number of permutations, and they all have different trade-offs. One thing that you might do if you're looking for something super simple is just write that stuff, serialize it to JSON, write it into local storage. And when your component mounts or whatever it is in view, then you just deserialize it and then you've got the data.
I like local storage because you can event on it and it works across tabs and.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
But you obviously sometimes need to put it into a database so that it works across different devices, and then the pain starts, right?
Correct. So there's also, this is stuff which I have covered actually in this Node.js in Action chapter. There's another thing which is just like local storage, but it has a very similar API. But one, it's asynchronous, and two, it means that because it's asynchronous, well, not because it's asynchronous, it's called local forage. It's by Mozilla, and it implements something very much like the local storage API, but with promises or callbacks. And it also, if your browser supports it, it will use IndexedDB under the hood. Which means that it'll work across devices.
What does it do? Does it make it seamless on the back end too, as well as local?
It has nothing to do with backend.
Let's end this right now. V over here just introduced himself. He's actually taken over from where I left off more than a year ago, probably 2 years ago, maybe even 3, with Hack and Tell Singapore. So thanks for doing that.
My pleasure.
But we have made a pact, because I'm now doing the AWS meetup here in Singapore. Well, I've just convinced you. Can I get you to speak at AWS user group?
Yes.
Awesome. So just tell me again what you do here. You're a DevOps for?
I work as part of the DevOps team for Zalora.
For Zalora? Is that on AWS mainly?
Yeah, at the moment, I'd say 99% of our infrastructure is hosted in AWS.
And what kind of challenges can you talk about?
So we run this operating system called NixOS, which is supposed to give us declarative, immutable, functional deployment. And getting that to work with the way on top of AWS is required a lot of work, most of it done by other people. So I can talk about the challenges that those other people face in doing that work, and the benefits that I get as someone who's on the team now when working with.
A NixOS declarative, I mean, what's that mean? That means like an OS with a package list. What's a declarative OS?
Declarative OS means that I have a source file or a set of source files that completely describe the system.
Like a Docker file?
Almost like a Docker file, yes. Except Docker, in my opinion, Docker kind of tries to solve the problem by doing what has always been done but papering over it. So you can do what you did before, except in this sandbox. Whereas NixOS goes, no, that's not the right approach. Let's go do it right from the ground up. So from the ground up, everything has to be defined in a declarative manner.
Whoa. Okay, can you tell me what's happening with the Hack and Tell group? What was like the last meeting about?
Absolutely. The last meeting was at ThoughtWorks Singapore last month, and it was we had about 5 talks. It's just about sharing the love of programming with other people in 5 minutes.
Sweet, I'm into that. Well, nice to meet you, V. Your colleagues are not here, I guess?
No, I can't see any of my colleagues here, but you can probably find us at the next Hack and Tell.
Yeah, I would like to speak if I have time. I got a family and stuff, but yeah, that's a big trouble here in Singapore, finding speakers. Oh my God.
It's the same is true in my from what I've heard of the Hack and Tell in New York. So it's not a problem that's unique to us.
I thought it was a Singaporean problem, but it's good to hear that it's a worldwide thing, maybe. Yeah. Okay, thanks again. Thank you. This is where we try to photograph ourselves so that when the world comes to an end, they know who to kill first.
How does it work?
Well, what happens is that they identify all the geeks and then they round them up and kill them.
Why?
Because they identified themselves as being the Illuminati. This is Chin Mei.
Hello, folks.
A friend. Hopefully he will remain a friend.
Yeah, it's okay. We always love your Kai. I mean, we can say mean things to you, but we don't mean it. Get it? Mean.
Mean? What's that mean? Mean stack?
No, none of that.
Like mean, like really mean?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not nice. But anyway,
right.
I'm happy to report that my YouTube channel has exploded to 2,500.
That's amazing, man. I'm so happy for you. Wait, are you getting hit by the demonetization shit right now?
No, I actually don't monetize my videos because that would just be even lowering my subscription. But the podcast stuff is something you do every week.
No, we don't do every week. We do it once a month, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, it's we haven't been so regular at it because it just takes a lot of time. So don't have that much time to give it.
And you mentioned you have about 2,000 regular downloads.
Ish per episode, kind of.
Why don't you break into YouTube?
Because audio is not really a mechanism for YouTube. Like you can't put audio. YouTube's not a medium for audio, right? It's really hard.
But there's a lot of podcasting channels there that
it's more
just
like a video casting, right? It's more like you got to put somebody's face up there.
You don't want your face.
No, because I want to do my podcast in my pajamas, man. Like I wake up in the morning, I don't change, I do a podcast.
Haven't you seen my videos? Like some of them are quite sexy.
I don't really want to see your videos. Now that you tell me that, I'm just scared.
You haven't seen them?
If I have erased my memory of them completely, so I don't really remember at all.
Okay, well, now you're on the video. I guess you're gonna have to see this one.
I guess so, but thankfully both of us are clothed. Actually, Kai's really looking really swanky. Kai, you wanna show?
Can you hold it?
Yeah, there you go. Look at him. Look at him.
This is over. This interview is over. So thanks guys for getting this far. Apologies for the poor audio. It was really loud, bad acoustics in there. And thanks for all those people who chatted to me. Great catching up with you all. Bye now.